So I just want to finish off the CPR section with some questions that people normally ask me on my face-to-face courses. Now the first question that I always get asked is, do I have to put my mouth on theirs?
The simple answer to this question is it depends who the casualty is. Because the guidelines will state if it's an adult casualty and you've been trained, you should give rescue breaths. If you haven't been trained, then just perform non-stop chest compressions. But the answer is going to be different if it's a child, an infant, an adolescent, or a drowning casualty. Because with the casualties under the age of 18 and a drowning casualty, those initial 5 rescue breaths are so important.
Remember what we said in the video previously? The reason the heart has stopped is not a problem with the heart, it's because it's a problem with oxygen. And they need the oxygen. So it's quite important that we give them oxygen. So make sure we do have a face shield or a pocket mask or some type of barrier between you and them to prevent infection. Anyone under 18 and anyone that's suspected to be drowning, rescue breaths are very important. Next question I get asked is, what happens if the casualty is sick? Well, if the casualty is sick, we just need to turn them over on their side, make sure they're not choking on their vomit, wait for them to finish being sick, roll them back again, check to see if they're breathing, because if they are breathing, great, but if they're not, we need to carry on with CPR. And of course, I would encourage you to use a face shield as well. Now, another question would be, my rescue breaths are not working. I don't see the chest rise and falling. Now, remember we said we need to see a gentle rise and fall of the chest, but you've got to make sure you open the airway. So if you don't see that gentle rise and fall of the chest, maybe the airway is not open. Maybe you haven't got a good seal. So make sure you fully open the airway. It should be fully extended here at the neck. Make sure you're pinching their nose or you're covering their nose, depending on what casualty you've got in front of you. And make sure you've got a good seal around their mouth. Now, if it still doesn't work, there might be another reason. They might have a blockage that's out of your control. But make sure you've opened the airway and make sure you've got a good seal.
The short answer is yes. If it's going to take you too long to move the casualty from the bed to the floor, then just do CPR where they are. Just push a lot harder than what you would normally have done if they were on the floor.
Then I always get asked, how do I know I'm going deep enough? I don't want to hurt them. Well, listen, this casualty is not breathing. You've got to do something to them. And my advice to you would be go hard. Because if you don't go hard enough, all you are doing is tickling them. But a good tip to see if you are actually being effective with your compressions would be colour. You should hopefully see the colour coming back to their face if you're going deep enough with a compression. Because at the end of the day, you're pumping the heart, which is pumping blood around the body, which has got oxygen in there, so you should see colour coming back up to their face. And it doesn't matter what colour skin someone's got. We've all got nice red rosy lips, so you should see colour coming back to their lips and back to their face as well.
Do you need to remove somebody's bra? Well, if it's going to stop you from doing CPR, then leave the bra on. And then the new guidelines do state to leave the bra on. But some bras, such as sports bras, might stop you doing CPR effectively because you can't get to the centre of the chest. And also, leaving a bra on a casualty is going to stop you from being able to put a defibrillator pad on correctly. So ideally, yes, remove the bra, but at the same time, don't delay in giving compressions.
And then finally, the question I get asked is, I'm tired. When can I stop? Of course, you can stop CPR if your life is being affected. For example, preserve life. It's your life as well. Even if you just have a little rest, I'd probably, if I had to stop, run out of my workplace, my home, wherever I am, and scream for someone else to come and help me so they can take over. And if there's a helper there, they should be taking it in turns with me. One person does something, the other person rests, and keep going like that. But you would stop if you're by yourself, if you can't carry on anymore. If the casualty comes back to life, please do stop then. If the ambulance turn up, or someone else, of course, takes over from you, then you would stop them.